News.
7:47 the time now. Firefighters are reportedly more likely to die from cancer, heart attacks and strokes than the general public. A study by the University of Central Lancashire looked at mortality data from the National Records of Scotland. It revealed they're dying from heart attacks at 5 times the rate of the population and almost at 3 times the rate from a stroke. Well, joining me now is Riccardo la Torre, Fire Brigades Union National Officer. Riccardo, good morning.
Good morning.
These findings then, clearly alarming, but why is it happening? What's emerged from the data?
I think what's emerged from the data is sadly something that we've known anecdotally as firefighters and across the fire sector for some time now. I think you'd struggle to find a firefighter who hasn't been affected by cancer, either directly or indirectly in work. And these findings of these reports, commissioned by the Fire Brigades Union and carried out independently by the University of Central Lancashire, now sadly cement that belief, and they confirm that. Now, we've been calling for some time for action on this, health monitoring, proper legislation to protect firefighters, yet we've always been told that we don't have enough data, we don't have enough evidence to be where, say, the Americans and the Canadians are in this, because they put significantly more protections in place for their firefighters in other parts of the world than we do here. But now our message is clear. The evidence is undeniable. Firefighters are getting ill and dying simply for going to work, and urgent action is required to protect our firefighters.
And this data, just to be clear, Riccardo, focuses, doesn't it, on the situation in Scotland. But do you fear then that the figures and such findings would indeed be similar and very much replicated right across the whole of the UK?
Absolutely, yes. This finding can be applied to UK firefighters everywhere, because previously when we've presented studies from America, studies from Scandinavia to ministers, employers, fire chiefs here domestically, they've always said that they can't be used because the operational policies will be slightly different, the PPE will be slightly different, the equipment will be slightly different. That isn't the case for Scotland and the rest of the UK. The operational policies, the equipment, the PPE, etc., are pretty much identical. So this finding can apply, and acting on this finding should apply to the whole UK fire and rescue service, because alongside this, we've got further research coming out later today that does concern firefighters across the UK, one of the biggest research projects ever carried out of its kind domestically. And the fears are echoed, and we have it confirmed in that research. So we now seriously require regular health monitoring for firefighters, because alongside this research, the Fire Brigades Union has also launched, together with the university, a firefighters cancer and disease registry, mapping and recording incidents of cancer in firefighters. And what that has shown us is that not only are firefighters getting these cancers at an excess rate, we're getting them at a young age, but they're being diagnosed very late, at a much more untreatable stage. So it's imperative we catch these earlier, and it's imperative that we put the legislation in place to protect firefighters who fall ill. And no longer can fire bosses deny that the evidence exists, because these reports are about as clear as it gets.
Let me ask you then, for anybody, say, Riccardo, listening now to our conversation, who perhaps has indeed ambition, has plans to join the fire service, don't you worry that findings like this will just put them right off? I mean, who'd want to risk their health like this? I mean, it is a truly dangerous job if the body isn't properly protected.
In the first instance, absolutely, yes. I mean, and firefighting is an incredibly dangerous profession. Before these reports, our bread and butter role is, running into burning buildings, and this just significantly increases the risk posed to firefighters. But the good news here is, this isn't inevitable. There is plenty we can do to minimise these exposures. Now, IARC, the International Agency for Research into Cancer, which is a body of the World Health Organization for research into cancer, last year categorised the occupation of firefighting as carcinogenic to humans. Our research now supports those findings domestically, yet we're also launching campaigns within the union. We have the DECON to protect and prevent campaign that teaches firefighters actions and behaviours that they can take to minimise these exposures, not just in the workplace, but to minimise us taking these exposures home to our families as well. And there is plenty that fire and rescue services can be doing around implementing proper decontamination procedures, proper cleaning procedures for both PPE, workwear and workplaces to help minimise these risks. But finally, we will never completely eliminate it. That's why we absolutely have to have that supported by regular health monitoring for firefighters to continue into their retirement. And then also we need to be reviewing the legislation that identifies these illnesses and diseases as an occupational disease, so firefighters can get the medical and financial support they need when they fall ill or worse.
Goodness, it's been enlightening speaking to you, Riccardo la Torre. Thank you very much indeed for taking us through those latest figures and the data. Appreciate it. Riccardo la Torre there, Fire Brigades Union National Officer.